Today we're going to talk about shortcuts in the system, how you can work more efficiently in Rillion One. Some new and some old features that it's maybe good for you to know about. Some tips for preparations before summer vacation, and a few things about what's coming up forward at Rillion. So we'll start with shortcuts in the system, and I will switch over to show you in the system everything. So, but I will just go through quickly what I'm going to show you. So, and the first one here is how you find our keyboard shortcuts and how you can use the spacebar to access some functionality. And as you can see in the picture on your right, you have a keyboard shortcut menu in the system. So I will show you where you can find that. I will show you how you edit vendor information from the invoice view, how you create accounting templates directly from the invoice, and how you quick search on the overview, and how you bulk manage flags. So now I will switch screen and I will take away that menu. I have 3 screens here, so there. So as you can see here, I'm logged in the system as an administrator. And to show you where you find the shortcuts, we'll go into one of my invoices here. I can just choose the top one here, and here you can see in the upper right corner, you can see the eye with page information. If you click that one, you will get the menu with all the keyboard shortcuts. So you press Control and one other, and yeah, you have this functionality. And one of the most popular ones are if you are somewhere in the invoice header and press Control and arrow down, you will jump down immediately to the coding line and the first field here. So that's one of the ways you can just work much quicker in the system, so you don't need to tab through all the fields. And the next one is to edit the vendor information. And here you have just beside your vendor or supplier, you have this little pencil button. And if you click that, you will access the vendor information. You won't see everything here that we've imported from the ERP system, but you can find that on the administration tab and supplier. But here you can have and set settings preset for, like, if you want to have a specific approver or a specific GL account, or always have the same project for this vendor, and then that will be added automatically every time you get a new invoice from this vendor. And you can also set a supplier comment, and that will occur every time you get an invoice from this supplier. So maybe we always need to check the VAT because they are not very good at adding the correct one or something like that. Save that, and then you can see here I have the supplier comment that will occur every time on this supplier. Next one is to create accounting templates directly here from the invoice view. And you of course have your accounting templates here, and you can click and add them manually if you like to. But you also have a button here that you can create an order template. Now I don't have coding, I can just press apply for the previous coding. And then if I press the create order template, that will be created as a fixed template for all new invoices from this vendor. So it's a quick and easy way, so you don't need to go away from the invoice and in under the settings to add templates. Now I will go back to the overview and show you the quick search functionality. Of course, you have the full invoice search with all our fantastic functionality, but you also have a quick search here on the overview. You can search for the vendor name, the the serial number from the ERP system, invoice number, and if you search here, I can search for Telenor. That's one of my most common vendors in my demo environment. Now you can see I use the same invoice over and over again, but here I can have a quick access to find the right invoice. And the last thing I would like to show you about this section is how you bulk manage invoices. And you can do that in some different ways. One way is, for example, when you use flags in the system. This is the piles here, or the folders. You can create your own, as we call them, flags for like tagging invoices that's waiting for credit note, or yeah, you can also put them on hold. And you can also bulk manage this. So if you're done with, you have received the credit notes and want to remove them, you can just choose several. And then I would like to remove waiting for credit note for these all three, and just press OK. And back on the overview, we can see I only now have 5 waiting for credit note. And in the same way, you can bulk manage invoices in all type of folders where you have lists of invoices. So here in invoices to be verified, I can just choose them all or just a few. If I would like to view them, only these 2 invoices, and they will end up in a queue after one another, or you have a lot of other options. So please, if you don't know about this, go in and check. You might find some new functionality that can be of use. I will switch back to my PowerPoint. Let's see what screen there. And we'll go to the next slide. Now I will go through some more functionality, some old ones that many of you might not be familiar with yet. And first one is handle search authorizations for users via accounting rules. This is a quite new one. So in the same way, I will go through them here in the slide, and then I will show you in the system. Next one, how you change additional reviewer, additional review. How you select email attachment from the invoice view when you're emailing invoices outside of the system. How you separate attachments or merge attachments. How you export PDF with the coding. How you save favorite searches. And I will show you the help tab, where we have a lot of updated manuals, and show you where you also find recordings. Like this webinar, we will put that up on YouTube, and we have a lot of more product videos for both admins and approvers. So I will show you where you find those. So now I'm switching over again to the system. So here, first one, handle search authorizations for users via accounting rules. And most of you might know about this if you use like accounting rule here. In this menu, you can add the rules for approvers, for example, what they can do in the coding lines. So for example, you can like choose that Petra only can code these selected projects, and maybe only this department, or maybe only a few GL accounts. And then she, of course, she can approve all invoices that are sent to her pre-coded, but if she's allowed to change the coding herself, in this case, she can only choose from these GL accounts and these projects, or specific suppliers for that matter. And what's new here is that we have separated how you can handle rules for invoice search. So if I instead choose invoice search, and we'll have a setting for that. That will be combined extra search rules for her. So if I choose this one instead, she can of course always search for the invoices she has handled herself, but now she can also search for all invoices that contain these projects, even though she hasn't been handling that invoice at all. So this is a very good way to control and expand what invoices different users can access. And next one is how you change additional reviewer during additional review. So we have these rules when you set up a workflow in multiple steps. You have this called additional review, is the most common way to set up several approval steps. And now we have functionality that if you have sent the invoice out for approval and it's out now for an additional review, you can now switch the person that's reviewing the invoice. So you can either do that as an admin, or the approver can switch themselves, so they can go into the invoice and see, this is not my invoice, I would like to send this to someone else. So just to show you this, I can go into this is for additional review with Gustav. This will look exactly the same if Gustav goes in and would like to change this. So here now I have this pencil. If I click there, I can just change here. I would like to send this to Sarah instead. So I will remove Gustav and send it to Sarah. So now you can see that it's Sarah that needs to approve this one. So this, to be able to access this, you need to change the role under settings, and you have a full guide for this, how you do it, under the help tab. So I will go through some more things in the help tab in just a few minutes. So the next thing I will go through now is how you select email attachments. So I will go back into an invoice. I can take this one with Telenor that I have prepared. So, and here you have the email button. I hope all of you know what that is. It's a way you can email invoices outside of the system. You can also create templates. So you can have preset templates with a text message or something that you can reuse if you would like to contact the vendor for some reason. So you can save that one. And you can also have saved templates that you can use for several companies if you have several companies in Rillion One. You add the email address where you would like to send it. You can also preset an email address on the vendor, so that will populate automatically. And you will always have a copy to your own email, so you can continue the dialogue in your email inbox. As you see here, we always check the first, that's the invoice picture. But now you can also choose to add, if you have extra attachments that you have added in the system, you can choose if you would like to add those as well in that email. And we always have this automated information about the invoice, so both you and the vendor easily can find with the invoice number, amount, and this is the internal invoice number in Rillion One. So that's about the emails. And next thing I would like to show you is how you can split an invoice and how you can merge invoices as well. So here you can see I have two attachments. I will show you about that. But first of all, this invoice have several pages. And if you have received invoice from a vendor that put several invoices in the same document, like different pages, before you need to delete or send it in again, so you got several invoices from it, but now you can easily split them in the system instead. So now this is, of course, not separate invoices, but I will show you with this one how it works. So you go up here and manage attachments, and then you can split the invoice. So here you see all the separate PDF pages, and I can just choose which one I would like to select and create new invoices from. And in the same way, I also can merge. So let's say this invoice now, for example, is actually an attachment to another invoice, but it was sent as a separate PDF from the vendor. So instead of deleting it and then uploading it to that invoice, then I can just search for, maybe it's Telia in this case, can search up the invoice that it belongs to, and then I can just choose to merge it as a separate and extra page, or I can add it like an extra attachment if it's just an attachment and not part of the actual invoice. So the next one, export PDF with coding. Then I will go into the invoice search function. And here I can see if I have my invoices. I can just search now. I don't need any special criteria. So here I can just choose several invoices or choose them all, of course. And you probably know that you can like press this PDF symbol to export all those invoice pictures to a joint PDF. But you can also export all the coding informations and notes. So if you instead go to actions for selected, bulk handling, and you have this add additional information to PDF invoices. And then I press OK. And then I can choose what information do I want to have exported, and that will be added as a separate page. I have prepared one here, so I close this one and I will show you a PDF that's exported. So here's the first side of an invoice, and then I have a second side with the coding information. So here I can see invoice number, serial number from the ERP, serial number from Rillion, creation date, and the coding line. And I can see that I also have 2 notes on this invoice. And if I go to my next example here, there I can see that I have several accounting rows on this invoice and 1 note that just says OK. So this is a really good thing if you need to like export all information on the invoices as well. Now I have one more thing to show you here in search, and that is how you save favorite searches. And you have this, some of you might have seen this already, but just to show you how that works, I can, for example, I will search for Telenor. I would like to have the invoice date 22 there. Okay, yeah, it's US format there, and then I have 0023 there, and I search for it. So that's all my invoices from Telenor for last year, only 2 in this case. But what I would like to show you is how you save this search, and you just click this button, save search. You can name it. And then I have a saved search. So I don't need to fill in the criteria again. I can just click that one, and this search will appear again. So the next thing I will show you here is the Help tab. So here in the menu, you have Help, and here you have all the manuals for different functionality in the system. For example, change additional reviewer during additional review. So here you have a full guide exactly of how you use this setting, how you activate it, and how it works. So if I just open that one up, So you have a full guide with print screens and everything that show you exactly how you do it. And one more, I think I had something I went through as well that I would like to mention here. Well, you have the one about search. So we have this search function in Rillion One, where we now added the information about how you can save favorite searches as well. So please go in and browse through some of these if you have time. Maybe if you don't use the flags, these extra folders today, you can look at that one and how you do that, because most of our customers use that one. And up here, you also have a link to our YouTube channel where we will post this webinar afterwards. And you also find a lot of other product movies. So I have this open up here in YouTube. So I go to, sorry, this is in Swedish, but this is playlists. And here you have a lot of movies, Rillion One demos, and here you have for Rillion US, all videos in English, and also have saved webinars. So I can really recommend this. You can go in and find a lot of videos here. And if you would like to, you can subscribe to this channel, so you will get a notification when we add new movies, because we're constantly updating and creating new videos. And if you have anything you would like to have a video on in the system, please just type that in questions or something, and we will put that on our to-do list, because we really would like to hear what you would like to know more about. So back here, yeah, I think I've gone through these things now. I will switch back to the PowerPoint again. Sorry, that's the wrong screen. There. So I have two more things on this slide just to mention. That's two add-ons we have in the system. The first one is Rillion Pay. And that's a payment functionality that we have in Rillion. So it both works in Europe, Sweden, and we have a payment functionality in US as well. And yeah, you can do payment directly from our system. So we have a fully integrated solution. You get a file back from the bank, and it will be set as paid in the system. And yeah, it works really well. And please do reach out to our sales team or me directly, so I can give you some more information if that's interesting for you. The next one is the document and contract module. I don't have time to deep dive into that again, today, but we do have a recorded webinar from that from just a few weeks ago, and we have pre-recorded movies as well. So if you would like to have more information about that, please reach out. And the main functionality is that you can store all type of documents and contracts. You can connect the contracts to vendors in the system. So you can, you will get an extra tab in the invoice view. Approvers can see that as well if you give them the permit to view those. So you can, so you can view the contract while you're approving, so make sure that it's the right amount that's, according to the agreement. And you can also get emails when agreements is close to due date, extra reminders for something you need to do, like annually or something with this vendor. And we do have a lot of customers that actually have saved a lot of money just to get an overview of the agreements and the termination dates, so they can terminate them in time. So it doesn't get automatically renewed for like 5 more years. That's not so uncommon, actually, that happens. And then I have on my next slide, let's see if I have that. Well, I switched orders on my slide. Let's see. Okay, I will save that for later then, for a little surprise for another functionality we have. So I switch over to talk about some preparations for summer vacations. So here you have our contact information to our support. And of course, you have everything on the webpage as well. And during the summer, we may change the time for this phone support a bit, but everything will be on the webpage. You can always go there and see exactly what time the phone is open. One tip I can give you here is how that you set up upcoming substitutes in the system before the vacations. We do have a guide under the help tab. I won't show you this today exactly how you do it, but you can easily search for a substitute under the help tab and find that guide there. And you can preset them for a date in the future. So it will start the 1st of July or something like that. So you can prepare all your substitutes before you go on vacation. Next one, I will also recommend that you search for this guide in the help tab. It's how you work with close periods. And that's very common before summer vacations. We get a lot of questions about that. So you can make sure you have closed before, you have a month closed so you don't get invoices in the wrong month in your ERP system. And that's so you can, of course, update the booking date. And the last thing on this slide is a few tips just to send out to your approvers, because when you as an admin are on vacations, we get a lot of questions to the support because the approvers don't really know how to find where to log in and where to find information. So please share our contact information to the support so they know that they can turn to us if you're not there to answer their questions. And also inside the system, we have, you can access it under the help tab, but you also have in the upper right corner when you log in, you have a PDF symbol with a user guide for approvers. And they have it when they log in, but it's not every time that they know about this. So please let them know or download it and email it, and make sure that they have the right browser address so they can access Rillion One, because that is also very common during the summer that they don't remember that one. They can, of course, favorize it in their browser. So that's a tip, just to make it easier for you and your colleagues. So next here, what's up next here at Rillion? And I will share some news with you. First one is that we have a huge project right now that we're updating the UI, the user interface. So you will have a whole new user experience in the system. So we will update the dashboard and colors, how you find things. We know our customer loves our system, how it looks like on the overview right now, and we won't take anything away. You will have the same functionality. And we're putting in a lot of work in this project, and we have involved a lot of customers already with user studies and reference groups. So yeah, it's a very fun thing. So we will release a few pages this fall, hopefully, with an updated UI. And with that, we will have a new UI platform that will enable us to add much more cool functionality in the system. So I don't have anything to show you here today. I just want to give you a heads up, and more information will come. And yeah, it's very, very exciting. Next thing, I will just mention a bit about our integrations. I have it on the next slide as well. So just show you what integrations we have. Because we have a lot of customers with several companies that have different ERP systems in their different companies. And that is, of course, very easy to set up. And you will still have the same user. You can have different companies connected with different ERP systems in the same user in Rillion. So yeah, Just so you know that. And even if you switch ERP system, you maybe start with QuickBooks Online and you switch it to NetSuite. We have integrations to NetSuite and other systems as well. So you can grow with us and we can add more functionality as you need it when you're growing. So we'll talk a bit more about that on the next slide. Something that is also coming during this year is that we're creating a whole new setting on organization level, on the customer level. So you who have multiple companies will get a much better overview of all your users in all your companies, and that you can set settings that you will have for all your companies from one and the same place. And yeah, so that will be really cool and help, especially like we have large real estate companies and accounting agencies, and they will have a much more efficient way to work when we have this new page up live. Last and not least on this slide is that we're looking into analytics, and we have listened to you, our customers, that you're asking for more and better reports in the system. So we're testing out a Power BI connection. So we will add several dashboards in different packages, and with yeah, it's so cool. We will send you information about this tomorrow in the survey we will add after this webinar. So, and I hope you really take, it will only take like a minute or two to like go in and fill in, because we really want to know what to prioritize. Even if it's not, you're not interested in analytics at all, please let us know that, and then we know that, okay, that's not going to be our focus. But we do hope so, because we have heard from many of you that this is something you would like to have more in our system. So, and the Power BI connection, we will have a Power BI license, because when we say Power BI, everyone thinks that's very expensive, but it won't be in the way we have built it. So yeah, so please fill in that survey we'll send out tomorrow, and you will get more information about that. So integrations again. This is some of our integrations, as you can see on the logos on the right. We have 2 integrations that are recently new. We have Xledger that we built, I think, just in the end of last year, and Sage Intact is coming any day now. And yeah, we're constantly building more integrations. So if you're switching ERP system and you don't find information about that on our webpage or someone else, please reach out, because that might be in our roadmap. So just ask us about that. And we do have PO matching in a few systems for now, as you can see on this list: Business Central, Pyramid, NetSuite, SAP Business One, Sage, and we're adding that functionality in more and more integrations as well. So if you don't have that today, you might not even maybe you weren't interested in that at all. Maybe you didn't work with purchase orders when you started with Rillion, but you do now. So just to let you know, we have more advanced functionality in the system. So this is something you can add. So please reach out to us, to me, or the sales team, or the support, and we will guide you in the right direction so you can get more information about that. Yeah, and now my missing slide when I talked about the document module and Rillion Pay. This is also an add-on. We have shared this news a few times. We have held webinars about this recently, and we will have another webinar just within a few weeks. And that's our AI engine for generating coding proposals. And this works really, really well. So the customers that use this, they really can get their automation to a higher level. So we upload the information from the invoices, how you historically have coded them, and everything about that. And the AI will suggest coding for new invoices. And that means that you're not as bound as you are today with the templates, because you can only have one template per vendor, or you can manually switch or add templates. But this one, it will automatically look at the invoice and suggest codings, different codings for different invoices from the same supplier. And the AI will always do as you have used to do. So you're the one that's actually have been training this AI, even if you haven't noticed it. Well, of course, it won't work unless you talk with our sales team and get this activated. But it's really cool, and it works really, really well. So, and it's especially now before the summer. And you don't need a training period for it, because you already have that. We can look at all your historic data you have in Rillion today. And the AI will probably be much better to adding the correct coding than your substitute that doesn't usually do this daily. And if you have a new employee at the financial department, or just want to save more time, this is really, really good. So please reach out so you can get more information if you're interested. And we do have webinars, other webinars, and so about this as well.